Arrakis. Dune. A planet that is both a volatile desert wasteland and the most precious jewel in the universe. For it is only on Arrakis where the spice melange can be found. The spice has shaped humanity for a millennia, and it is the foundation that makes interstellar travel possible. Fortunes rise and fall as quickly as the sands shift on Arrakis. It is a place where a smile and a quiet word can cut as easily as a crysknife, and nothing is what it seems. Welcome to Dune.
Why, man? Because I got high.
All right.
As
Wow. Okay, so I think we're live. And
Huzzah.
yeah, I mean, that trailer was so incredible. Holy cow.
Trailer's really cool.
All of that footage, everything. Awesome. Once again, I want to thank Rachel Wilkinson of Life Mancy for providing such an incredible voiceover for us. She is making a vampire scripted podcast called Port Saga. So if you like World of Darkness, please check that out. Link will be in the show notes. But yeah, welcome to Weave the Tale, everybody. Tonight we're playing episode 2 of Dune Adventures in Imperium by Mendophius Entertainment. We are super excited to be here, but before we get into the blood, sand, and spice, let us introduce our players, starting with Paul.
Hello, all. My name's Paul. You can find me at PaulMarchant6 on Twitter. I spend a lot of time hanging out here in Weave the Tale, as well as doing a Lancer podcast over at Guild of the Phoenix. If you want me to come play in your game, hit me up on Twitter.
All right, moving on to Jace.
Hey everybody, my name is Jace Ridley. You can find me at Jace Ridley pretty much everywhere. I'm a writer, artist, streamer, general content creator. That's about it for me. Happy to be here though.
Yay, we're happy to have you. We can get to Allie.
Hi everybody, I'm Allie. You can find me on Twitter at LexiPhoenix. I'm a writer, game designer, and I do some behind-the-scenes stuff for a D&D stream called Dungeon Scholars.
Awesome. Mark.
Hello everyone, I'm Mark Hugh Anderson. I'm the co-founder of Mondo Kane Publishing. You could follow me on Twitter. My Twitter account's up here, but it would be really cool if you follow at Mondo Kane Pub on Twitter. Yeah, I'm just happy to play Dune with all these wonderful, wonderful people.
We're happy to have you too. We do have a guest for the evening, but he hurt his back a bit, so he will be popping in when it is his time to do his thing, and then probably promptly leaving and taking care of that. But yeah, as we mentioned in the tunnel, this season of Weave the Tale is sponsored by the aforementioned Modifius Entertainment, Green Ronin Publishing, Free League Publishing, and Imagining Games. We also have some really awesome rewards set up for retweet goals, donation goals, and sub goals. One of the donation goals is like having a one-shot for the Sands of Arrakis sourcebook, which looks really, really cool. So if you're interested in seeing that, consider giving us a little bit of a tip. Otherwise, retweets also help the cast just as much because you get some good boons and banes and all that. But yeah, any of these goals help support the cast and crew. So if you dig our work, please check it out. And without further ado, let us set the scene. So basically, you you guys have spent everybody loaded in mostly without complications, other than a surprise here or there. This is a minor thing. And you've had I want to say like a day-ish to basically get everybody settled in, have some of those like pre-event social talks. Some of you have been very wisely using your time to gather information, generate goodwill for your own agendas, and do whatever else one does when not immediately observed by others. So to start this off, I would like to focus on Miss Cassandra, because she was looking to ask around a bit about about our young Lord Dimitri and all of that. Well, some of your agents, unfortunately, may not have been quite as skilled at subterfuge. So it got back to Dimitri that you was asking around about him. So can you describe for me, Allie, what is Cassandra's morning ritual? Is she a tea person? Does she spend some time in meditation? Does she go to the kitchens to inspect things? Like, what is her usual morning ritual?
Her usual morning ritual is probably something on the lines of a bit of meditation, a bit of spiced tea, perhaps. Fairly relaxing, fairly simple. There's going to be plenty of stress and hectic craziness with all the negotiations to come. So she's taking time to make sure she at least gets some breathing room before everything hits the wall.
Can you make me a so if you're in meditation, can you make me a let's see. Yeah, I think a discipline test at difficulty 3. It is up to you if you want to spend momentum or not.
Let's see here.
You have some. You start with some.
No, we don't. We double checked it.
Oh,
You
really?
start with 4 threat.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. So there is no starting momentum. That's why there isn't any on the board. Those 4 blue dice are your threat dice. She can always, she can always get some threat dice. Offer to sell you some threat dice to get an extra die.
That's true.
Which is...
If you want to buy an extra dice by giving me threat, that is something you can do.
Yep. That is something I can do. I think for now I will Actually, this early on though.
Go ahead and do it.
You know what?
Ain't nothing but an opportunity here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and do it.
Okay.
All right. So 3 dice.
Yep. Roll those beautiful.
Oh, still no.
Oh no. Okay. That's all right. So basically, what I'm going to say is your character is in meditation, and you're very also get an AP because you will learn from this. Oh, by the way, a thing I forgot to mention before I forget is For my audience, please pay attention to my players and how awesome they are. What we do is you get advancement points based on, stuff you do, like if you fail a test, if you do something really cool as part of your ambition, if you are nominated by your fellow role players, and since this is a stream game, we want to have the audience participate in also choosing a player to nominate for AP. So on our break, our wonderful tech will be throwing up a poll for who you think should be gaining the AP. And at the end of the night, that person will get an extra advancement point for their character. So, please pay attention and support our cast. Anyway, so you are basically very engrossed in your meditation. You are feeling that deep connection with your body and your breath, and truly understanding the form and function of every single cell and every fiber within your being. It is something that, you feel almost that sense of peace, because I imagine with the stress and the pressure, it has really been at least a little bit since you've been able to get this deep into that transient state. However, you awaken from this feeling refreshed, relaxed, and just truly at one with yourself, only to open your eyes and see the smiling face of Dimitri Visperis right in front of you. Did you have a good nap, my lady?
Lord Viserys, how can I help you?
Sorry.
Visperis. Lord Visperis, how can I help you?
I understand that you've been asking around for me. So I figured, what better way for you to get to know me better than to actually talk to me?
Well enough. Perhaps then you can provide some clarity.
I aim to please, my lady.
So then, as I hear it, and of course, please do correct me on particular details, but and remind me here, what was the name of the person that he supposedly murdered?
It was... let's see. Where is it? Osprey? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, Osprey Vanderon. I'll put that in the notes after game.
All right.
Of House Vanderon.
I have heard whispers that it was you who was responsible for the death of Osprey Vanderon, was it not? Personally, I
That
have
is
no
correct.
particular... Oh. Personally, I merely wish to gain clarity on the details. If I am to properly negotiate these terms between your two houses, I need to know everything that I can. Every issue that exists between the two of you.
Then you should know that Osprey Vanderon was a traitor to our liege and executed under the full weight of the law. I carried out the execution, yes, but it was by orders of our liege.
Of course.
Now, the question that you should be asking, if I may.
Please.
So, you know that I know that the Lady Adder is very close to House Vanderon, who again was a traitor to our liege, because even after Lord Ravan slew Abelard, his brother, or father, sorry, he still supported that legacy, which is why he had to die. And I know this. So why am I not selling out the Lady Dahlia? Because anyone associating in that way with traitors to our liege is obviously at least sympathetic to that cause, and with a liege as straightforward as ours, that is more than enough. And you know that too, I imagine.
Oh yes, I am well aware. As I see it then, it is more likely that you find something that you could get out of the situation that is more enticing the other way. Why do we do anything?
Exactly. I want to believe that, again, as Dahlia is, or I should say the Lady Adder, please forgive me for being so informal, that because she is someone whose house has endured and survived, that she knows when it is appropriate to bend the knee for a time. This fief was given to us as a reward, and as such, I am not as familiar as I would like to be with the express production and managements with the operation. Something that the Lady Adder has made certain to make more difficult with her sabotages and other things. Obviously, this is a detriment to us all, as no one is being particularly profitable. But the difference is I know exactly what the Harkonnen will do to those who cost them profits. So, I believe that you and I can both understand what is at risk here.
Oh yes, I am quite aware of what the risks are.
Now, what I would like very much is the quotas that are being placed by the Lord Raban are taxing for our workers and our equipment. And the Lady Adar has several engineers and the like that would be able to provide service in upgrading those carryalls so we can go back to work from the annoying sabotage that, again, she started. I like to think of myself as a reasonable person, Lady Lucinor. So I hope that, again, in speaking with you here and now, you can understand that reason should triumph over emotion.
It is as I always endeavor for. That you can
Indeed.
trust in.
I was raised on Gidi Prime, my lady. I don't trust anything.
Truthfully, nor should you.
We don't make
Either
it to
things
where
will
we
surprise
are.
you. Yes, indeed. Either things will pleasantly surprise you, or they will meet your expectations.
You must have low expectations then, my lady. Is there anything else that you would have of me, or things you wish to know? Because I do not know if I will be as kind to the next series of spies that I find.
I will keep that well in mind, but for the moment, I think all my questions have been answered.
Then I will leave you to your meditations. Again, I truly hope that we can get somewhere with these talks today. And you seem to be one who really takes in the whole picture.
I endeavor to do my best.
That is
We
all
will
we can
see how
ask
they-
of anyone.
Indeed, indeed. Well then, do not
Alright.
let me keep you. I'm sure you have your own preparations to attend to.
Of course. And with that, he would bow with like that gentlemanly flourish, and head out. Can you roll me? Let's see. Give me. I'm gonna say truth and discipline, because I want you to specifically be, the test is going to be a difficulty of 1,
Okay.
for reading his facial expressions.
Oh, all right.
Mhm.
I actually have I have a body language focus, but it's under understand.
You can do that. Let's do
All
that.
right.
Yeah.
All right, understand.
Mhm.
And you said truth?
Yes, because this is specifically sussing out, how malleable the truth is in what you present versus what it is. Ah, yeah! Look at that! Woo!
Woo!
So, with those crit successes, also, you guys get some momentum, I believe 3, right? Because that was,
Yeah.
because that's 4 successes?
Yeah, it's 4 successes, and we get 1 momentum per success over the target.
Yes. Yes. So you get 3 success or 3 momentum. I will let you decide if you also want to spend any for additional information, but you can also bank them, which is great. But yeah, so you find that when you were speaking to Dimitri, what was really interesting is that when he brought up killing, executing Lord Vanderon, while he was very performative with just the this was right, this was justice, this is like he was a traitor and blah 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 blah, and obviously anybody associated with Abelard has to die. Again, he kept that smiling mask, but his eyes had a little hint of like guilt. There was like something there that seemed to weigh on him, where it was very much that like you got the feeling that like it wasn't something he wanted to do or took any sort of joy in. Like this man is not a killer, but again, just when he spoke briefly about those moments with Gidi Prime and everything, you really got that feeling that there is so much that he is not speaking about with politics of Gidi Prime, and you can infer that that sort of hyper cutthroat environment has created this person that like if they manage to retain any sort of moral conscience whatsoever, like that is startling and just like, you know, not normal basically.
Allie, I'm also reminding you of your free obtain information.
Yeah. I do have passive scrutiny. I'm not sure. Let's see. I may ask one question as if I'd spent momentum to obtain information for the scene.
Okay.
Although honestly, you answered a lot of what I would have asked there.
I mean, that's fine.
Yeah, I mean that, and that's fine. That was like definitely a lot more detail than I thought I'd get.
Yeah. I mean, you got so many crit successes, so I feel like you're just like in that zone, that meditation. Like you're really like I am a leaf on the wind here. Like.
Yeah. As far as when he spoke of the engineers, is that truly all he wants?
You get the feeling that's not all that he wants, but it definitely is like a good starting point of like, you know, like basically that is the safe thing to say, this is what I want, because like that's something that people can agree to before you get into your big asks. Essentially.
Yeah, he's lowballing. All right.
Which also, you know, makes you have to have a think about like, all right, well, you know.
Yeah, what is he really after? All right, but that's all I had. So she'll once he leaves, if at all possible, she will get word to Raul and be like, "Hey, someone just came in. The Lord of what is it? House Visperis showed up in my chambers. That's a problem."
That is.
Otherwise, like she'll go about prepping for the rest of the day, basically.
Sounds good.
Like she's not chastising. She's going, this is something we have to keep an eye on.
Oh, no. I understand. Who was the guard? So I will assign someone from my personal men-at-arms to the person that, you know, to make sure her chambers are guarded. And then I'm going to throw that idiot that was supposed to be guarding her chamber out the airlock.
I'm going to say that, you know, you found the guy who was supposed to be guarding him, you know, like, not asleep by choice, but like it looks natural. Like
then I will call the doctor. Then I will call the doctor, and I will have the doctor test to see who drugged him and try to track down where that particular poison comes from. Because just because he was the one, just because he was the one that showed up doesn't make him the person that drugged him. These two things are obvious, but not necessarily exact. Because that's a thing. So then if I am aware this person was drugged clearly, then he doesn't get to go out the airlock. He gets to remain in the ship with the breathable atmosphere. And I will turn him over. Actually, I'll have him escorted to the doctor's room, inform the doctor that his room is in use, and that I need this guy tested for poison. And then once those poison results are in, have them sent immediately to our Mentat so he can rely on track down where the poison came from, unless the doctor immediately knows. This is very much a thing where this is very much a thing where the doctor and the mentat are going to be much more useful than I am. I'm there to facilitate their doings of these things, and I will assign a personal man from my man-at-arms team to watch the door and to be on Cassandra like a shadow.
Fabulous.
But not our good
that-
sergeant yet. I have one more upgrade level other than myself, and then like if something else happens to this dude, I'll put the sergeant on it. If something happens to the sergeant, I'll guess I'm hanging out personally with my charming demeanor.
Aw.
Oh, we love you though.
Okay. So I
Do
guess
you?
let's take it over to.
That's weird.
I guess let's take it over to the doctor then. Let's run. Raul dropping off this guy. Doctor, are you in your med bay area?
Yes, I am in the med bay. And in the very
Okay.
back of the med bay, there are various cans and kind of square-shaped, very futuristic-looking containers filled with hydroponic growing various plants and exotic flowers. And kind of, in his own way, he's making sure that they're growing well, and he's feeding them as the guard comes into his med bay.
Oh, I meant your personal the room, not the med bay.
To my personal room.
No, the doctor's
No,
room, the room
no,
we set up.
The room.
I'm not taking you to the room. The room.
Yeah.
Not to the med
The
bay,
room,
because
with-
if our guards get
with the
if our
capital
guards get seen,
TH.
if our guards get
Yes.
seen in the room, seen in the med bay, that's a sign of weakness. If they're seen in your private other
Ooh.
room you like to have set up, it's a whole other thing.
Yes.
I know how to save face. We don't take guards
Yeah.
to the
Love
med
that.
bay, especially the guard
course, and-
outside of Cassandra's room if people are paying attention.
And just like any special
Beautiful.
doctor's room, there would be a back door, a special
Mhm.
Sure.
entrance that's staff only,
Mhm.
and that's quite all right.
Yep. So I
So
will
both-
radio for you down in your room and let you describe it to our lovely people who we made a big deal out of it last session.
Yeah, so there is a proper med bay that has all of the fixings of any medical facility. That is where all of my plants are growing, and the various vials are hanging, behind locked glass doors. And then there is another room. This room is for very special patients. The center of the room has a very large drain right in the middle of the tile. There are channels that run from the drain up to the corners of the room. There are two tables that almost more resemble autopsy tables than actual medical beds. This is not a very comfortable room. There's not a lot of linens here. You can actually see brass fixings where curtains and tapestries used to hang at one point, maybe even a shred of some cotton hanging off of one of the hooks where, haphazardly it was ripped down and used to stop bleeding of some type. But clearly this is a room that's meant to do quick and dirty and fast and easy healing, and hopefully easy cleanup afterwards.
Oh my.
Alright then.
Oh my.
Raul carries this particular, probably still unconscious guard in the fireman's carry and just kind of plops him down onto the gurney, making sure not to bang his head. He'll roll up his sleeve and be like, he is out. Somebody drugged him. I will use my obtain information for the scene for passive scrutiny for myself to know the information about the injection site, about what knocked him out. Whether it was injected via a dart or whether it was imbibed. That was the information I would like to gather from my passive scrutiny.
I will say that you can smell on his breath that he had his morning coffee.
Okay. And it doesn't seem to be an injection site either to
No.
rule that out, is what I'm guessing. Okay.
Nope.
And I will let the doctor know he probably imbibed whatever knocked him out. I will then also radio for Sergeant Samuel to change out the coffee for the whole retinue of our guards. Like, just trash it, get new coffee. We're not going to play this game where other people are going to show up unconscious.
Yeah.
Because that's some
Switching
smart
from
stuff
Starbucks
to do.
Dunkin's.
More switching from like dirt cheap coffee to slightly less dirt cheap coffee.
Okay, all right. Dunkin's to Tim Hortons.
Sure. Dunkin's to Timmy Hortons, correct. They don't get Starbucks unless this thing goes off without a hitch. Then they can have their Starbucks.
Exactly. But yo, those Timbits though.
The Timbits though. So I'll let the doctor know that he imbibed it, and that I'm having the coffee changed out. I could not find an injection site on my way down. You're probably gonna have to draw some blood. I do it before you wake him up just because it'll be easier. And then I will radio on to Zevier, and I'll let the doctor know to talk to Zevier afterwards, and radio Zevier and let him know I have some information coming his way.
Yes. We have a whole process, and this is the process in which we use. You bring the bodies, I collect the data, I bring the data over to Zev, and Zev gathers the insights. This is a process that we've worked out time and time and time again, and I cannot believe that already the festivities have already started.
This is not a festivities situation. This was the guard to Cassandra's room. Apparently the head of House Vespin showed up in her room earlier this morning, and I have reassigned some more guards. She's unharmed, but he was found unconscious, which is why he's in your office and not out the door.
Yes, well, thank you for saving his life.
No, the fact that somebody
is everybody
his
okay?
Life, and the fact he wasn't incompetent.
I
Cassandra is as well as can be expected.
You throwing him out the. I was more making a comment about you throwing him out the airlock, because I know the last time this happened, they didn't fare too well. So I'm actually pretty impressed.
I threw him out the airlock. Because the last time it happened, it wasn't somebody drugged. It was somebody drugged, possibly from a party favor of yours, and so out the airlock he goes.
Yes, and it's not my fault they couldn't hold their spice.
I'm not arguing that. They shouldn't have taken the spice to begin with.
Well, why don't you make sure that Lady Lucinor is fine and okay and comfortable and guarded, and I will make sure that your man is tested and approved and ready for service post-haste.
Good. That would be appreciated. Also, make sure he leaves out the employee entrance and exit. I don't want people to see him coming out that he might have needed medical treatment. It'll send the wrong image to individuals.
Of course, we will be as quiet as a mouse.
All right. Sounds good. Turns, walks out, and heads to Lady Cassandra's room and lets you go about your business. I will hand you over to the arms of our ST.
The doctor's gonna walk to the door, and he's gonna lock the door. He's gonna turn around and walk up to the body and start doing, his investigations. He's gonna smell the man's breath, maybe, tickle his feet a little bit, take some blood, pinch his cheeks to see how the blood flows. Yeah.
Do that thing where they look at somebody's eyeball while the eyeball is closed.
I'm actually going to dip my finger in the eyeball and maybe take a taste, see if I could taste anything from the eye.
Okay. All right.
Very scientific stuff.
Can you, so basically, are you looking to figure out, just doing a diagnosis and stuff?
I'd like to know if he was, if there's any obvious signs of him being drugged.
Yeah.
I'd also like to know if it's something that was ingested, or if it was something that was poked into him or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, like Paul said, there's no obvious signs of an injection site. If you can get me, let's see, what is your medical role? Discipline?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have any good focuses?
I do have faith, where healing is an expression of the divine.
Ooh, I like that. I meant focuses as far as the specific things that will give you, if you roll under your foci. Also, I'm sorry, my internet seems to be weird right now.
Same.
So hopefully it'll be fine.
It's not just you.
So discipline has
Oh,
an
okay,
attention. I have attention to detail, focus and attention to
Okay.
detail and discipline.
I heard attention to detail.
Yes, and discipline.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So just attention to detail.
Mhm.
Okay. Cool. I will allow you to roll that. And I think faith would be really great. Because you're putting your faith in yourself and your abilities, and that makes a whole lot of sense. So yeah, give me a roll. We'll say it's a difficulty of 1.
Okay.
All right. So, ooh, success and a crit success. So that gives you guys 2 more momentum. So what are you at momentum-wise? Is it just the 2? Did you spend 1 already?
We're back up to 4. It hasn't updated yet. Because you lose 1 at the end of every scene.
All right, cool. Sweet. So yeah. So basically, you find out that this was I am going to butcher the pronunciation, and I'm very sorry. Chamurky? Is that how it's, or is that how it's pronounced? Chowmurky? I don't know. The ingestible type of poison. While you're not entirely, and again, it seems very much like it was ingested in this guy's coffee. Like, he seems very much at peace, so it's not a painful poison so much as just like something intended to get somebody out of the way in a natural looking way, as like a distraction or something to that effect. So let's see, you want to spend a momentum? I will give you more information.
No, that's not
Um,
necessary. I don't
okay.
think it's necessary to spend a momentum on this. This is quite obviously someone who's trying to drop a guard so they can sneak into the Lady Lucinor's room for God knows what. What I will do is call for my assistant. To have her take this gentleman, please, to Paul's quarters.
Yeah. You
Take the back
seem
way, though.
very, yeah. You seem very certain that it's not, that advanced of poison or anything like that. Like, so he can either sleep it off and it'll feel like a hangover the next day, but it'll be probably a couple hours that he's out. Or you can probably like synthesize some sort of, basically, I will say like the equivalent of a 6-hour energy, but like jamming it into him to like wake him up now if you want to do that. In which case, then it's hi.
I'm being very careful because this is a very important negotiation, and unfortunately, this gentleman failed at his job, and perhaps he could use a little bit of the sleep to rest it off. I'm going to allow him to sleep. I'm not going to try to boot him up. But what I will do is have him dropped off over to Raul's room.
Okay.
To his personal quarters. If in any kind of subterfuge way, that'd be preferable.
So Chani kind of like looks at you and is just like, Doctor, this man is a bit large, and I am not exactly the most physically adept person. I have very dexterous hands for very dexterous surgical procedures, but if I am to carry a large man upon myself, there is not any sort of subtle way that I could possibly do that. I'm very sorry.
Oh, of course not. I would never expect you to carry him on your back. Although, not a bad idea. But we do have a gurney. You know what? Wait right here.
Okay.
And the doctor will
All right.
go in the back and open a closet and pull out kind of one of those fold-out gurneys. It
Mhm.
is actually wrapped in a sheet. Unfortunately, that sheet is severely stained, torn, ripped. There's dents all over it. This thing has been used quite a bit.
Mhm.
Just throw a rag over him and use the gurney. Here, I'll help you assist him onto the gurney here.
Okay. So again, it's that comical moment of her being like, "Hee!" but she's doing her best.
Yeah, kind of one for the money,
so-
two for the show.
Exactly. So you guys successfully managed to get him on there. Is this gurney just a regular gurney, or does it have a little bit of the repulsor kind of hovering thing to it?
Oh no, I'm sorry. This is a regular gurney with wheels.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so then, she puts on a brave face and sets out towards Raul's room.
Squeaky wheels and all.
My question for you, though, Doctor, is you told Lady Theron about this room, right?
I don't believe I did tell Lady Theron about this room.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Excellent. So then you will get a message that the Lady Theron is waiting for you in the med bay. But first, let us go to I think Raul was going to meet with our Mentat.
No, I just gave him the information that he'd have information from the doctor
Okay.
on the way. I was going to meet with Lady Cassandra to make sure she was all right.
Okay. Zev, did you want to handle any investigative bits right there, or are you good for right now?
I mean, at this point, it seems like I've been informed of the situation, so I don't know what else there is for me to do yet.
Okay.
And there actually would be a process that the doctor would use is regular updates on any. There's a whole like intake process that we'd use. Dr. Maharil will notify Zev that a patient has come in. Any kind of data, information, insights that I might have, I'd pass over to you so that you can kind of take and analyze in any kind of way. But we probably have a shorthand communication that we can probably most often utilize.
Okay, so we get the information. So we get the information then back about whatever was used to drug our soldier.
Yeah.
So I guess then my first question is, what actually was it that was used after his tests?
It was a specific type of that drinkable poison, and and again, just like something that was used to create a peaceful sleep. So it looks like somebody's just nodding off at the job versus like. And if you can roll me, let me give it let's see. Let's get SP or your discipline, and I'll let you use your espionage focus. We'll set it at difficulty 2. To basically try to trace how this could have gotten to the coffee that this guy drank.
I feel like that's probably with a truth drive, trying to find the information.
Yeah.
Okay. And
yeah,
I'm sorry, what did you say the difficulty was?
2.
2.
All right, then I'm gonna buy one more.
Are you gonna use one of the momentum you have, or give me threats?
Yeah.
Momentum?
No, I'm gonna use one of the ones we have since we're gonna lose one at the end of the
Okay.
scene anyway.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Oh, I have to actually. There we go.
Ooh.
So 4
well
successes.
Done. Yes. All right. So 2 momentum generated. Let's see. That puts you at cap, I think. So.
We have one more
so
before cap. We're at 5.
Okay. Cool. Oh, okay. I thought you were already at 4 going into this. That's fine.
He spent one.
Basically, okay. I will say that you are able to trace you go through the where the whole list of what food is given to in the mess for the guards and stuff like that. And again, it's not great food, it's basically leftovers or whatever. And you are able to determine that it was with that those added successes, you figure out that there are 3 suspicious people who were hired fairly recently to the kitchen staff, like, basically as like drudges or whatever. And, they passed all the base checks and everything like that and seemed all fine. So, you're not sure which could be a person, or even if they were the people who spiked the coffee in the first place, but they were at least involved in, like, one guy prepared it, one guy plated it, one guy was the guy who brought it over into the hall. So those are your 3 people to potentially look at.
All right. Well, then I would immediately pass that information to Raul.
Sounds good. He will have them picked up and get them prepared for interrogation on his way to Cassandra and informing her of what the update on the situation is when he gets there.
All right.
A well-oiled machine. Look at us.
Yeah, exactly. Let's get that Cassandra scene in there then. Raul and Cass having a good chat.
Mm-hmm.
No.
Sure. As a side note, the interrogation room is totally right next to an airlock. I'm just pointing that out to everyone. It's just a thing how he has the ship set up.
It's
why
weird
wouldn't it be?
how, like, there are so many airlocks on this vessel. Like, you wouldn't think there need to be that many.
But they do. They need to be conveniently
you need one in the
located.
bathroom.
Yeah, you're never more than 8 feet away from an airlock on this ship, apparently.
Yeah, it's emergent. It's just in case of emergencies.
Yeah, obviously.
That's the secret. All the guest quarters are airlocks. No, I'm kidding.
Oh God.
Oh,
I feel safer
if
already.
only you would let me, but you would. Your dad wouldn't let me. He's like, no, that would be rude. I'm like, no. But yes, Raul will show himself in past the guard, his one of his men-at-arms to see Cassandra. So it seems your particular door guard was drugged. The doctor has identified it as an imbibed poison. Zeke has identified the 3 possible culprits. They're being apprehended as we speak and taken to interrogation. This should not happen again, given the fact that I will rotate the rest of your detail from my personal guard and have them check their food and not have it taken from the mess directly and handled by themselves and switch over to rations. If anything else does come up or happen, I'll have Samuel personally assigned, and if anything else comes up, I will shadow you myself, unless you would prefer to have me start shadowing you myself. But that does send a very different message to our guests.
I agree. Well done. I think all those measures sound reasonable, and I trust you.
Mm-hmm. Very well. How did your meeting with the What's his official title? Duke, Lord? I don't remember. I just
Lord,
nod when
'cause
you
you're
tell
all
me the
minor
official
houses.
title. No, I'm asking
Yeah.
Cassandra.
Oh,
like-
okay. Oh, sorry.
Yes, Lord Dimitri. It went.
Mhm.
It was enlightening. Let's.
Mm.
He
was he as
didn't-
much bluster as
oh.
I thought he'd be, or no? I spoke to his man. I spoke to his man, and he seems to serve him very loyally, and he has a lot of that giddy prime bluster, where he doesn't necessarily enjoy the bloodshed he does, or his men at arms would not be as loyal as he is.
Yes, I did get that impression myself.
Yeah. Oh, interesting news. I haven't gotten a chance to speak to you since this happened. Apparently, there's discussions of a marriage proposal?
What variety of
Between-
marriage proposal?
From what I heard, the possibility to make sure this negotiation goes as possibly as smooth as it possibly could go would be to marry the two off with each other, the Lord and our lovely lady. Not you, the one from the other house that are feuding.
Yes.
Unless you're interested in the Lord, at which point in time that could be arranged as well if you prefer that marriage.
The Lord isn't my type.
Sure, I don't pretend to know your social life in that regard. It's not my business, unless you want that to be my business and you want my personal guards looking into possible suitors to ensure that they're safe and not here to endanger your well-being. Samuel
Should
can run a
that need
background.
arise-
Can run a background on most.
Of course, should that need arise, I will keep that in mind.
Just
For
let us
now,
know
though,
immediately. We'll take care of it.
of course. For now, though, I think that the matter is as handled as it can be. But I do trust
I
you
will
to
ask, how do you
do your job
define
well.
as it can be?
Well, I know that matters like this take a certain amount of time to really suss out the exact details.
Yeah.
I'm not going to rush you in doing your job.
Oh, you mean about the poisoning? I was more along the lines of negotiations being as handled as they could be.
Not. Those will proceed as they will. We'll see how it goes.
Very well. Very well. I will poke the mentat, and we should probably head to interrogation shortly. Is there any other bits of information you're looking for about this possible interrogation?
I would say for the moment, it is clear that if it was the Lord Dimitri that did drug my door guard, then the reasoning for it is fairly clear. He didn't intend me any harm, it seems, but one can never be sure.
I don't disagree. I feel that it is very easily to suspect the Lord Dimitri to have drugged the guard, but if the Lord Dimitri was just made aware that you would be available, and someone else had the guard drugged to get in his good graces, it presents them with leverage over him later.
Agreed. Well, I do have matters to attend to before the negotiations begin, and I will not keep you.
Very well.
Thank you for the update,
Then,
Raul.
Not a problem. Then I will head to interrogation.
course.
And that he will leave and check to see if the 3 people have been apprehended already.
They have, like, I imagine there was a little bit of a chaos and scuffle, but, you know, you got your people. But I would like to take it to the doctor, I think, because, and also, for Raul and Zev, you are aware that Theron is in the medbay waiting to meet with the doctor.
I send Zeb a note that says, do you want to go to interrogation or do you want to watch that cluster?
I mean, interrogation is one of my focuses, so I should probably be doing my job.
Yeah.
Good idea.
Oh no, I'm aware. That's fine. I will then put
Um,
away my smaller screen that has the feed from the med bay in it in my pocket for later, and just record
is
that for
literally the-
posterity's sake.
This is literally the 111th century. I'm pretty sure we can have more than one screen up at a time.
We can, but I feel we will not be able to focus on interrogation and whatever silly things comes out of the doctor's mouth at the same time.
That's fair. Okay.
So we will head to interrogation and watch the playback on whatever silly thing the doctor puts himself into this time.
Oh, I can't wait.
Important work. Important work.
Yeah.
That's what Raul and I do at the end of every business day. We just meet in my office or his office, whoever's closest, and we just watch whatever the doctor did throughout the day because it's
Yeah.
stress relief.
Yeah.
Great.
Who needs reality TV when you have the good doctor?
Yeah, it's the
Part of the
best.
reason
We're
why
like,
you
oh
keep me
wow, well
around."
at least we know we're not going to fall down that elevator shaft onto some bullets.
Right. All right. So, doctor, I assume after you have wrapped with the patient you had over there, or are you like doing other things?
Oh no! As soon as I get the message that that Theron is in the med bay, I'm making my way over.
Okay. So yeah. So basically, they are there. And again, just dressed rather elegantly, but in like just these like gray and silver silks that seem to cascade down their form and just accentuate those like fey-like almost alien aspects of their beauty. When you enter, they like look up at you and seem to be a bit relieved, but like look a bit nervous at like the staff that's like around, and just seem kind of like uncomfortable being in the med bay in the first place. But you can't quite place your finger on why that may be. But yeah, when you enter, they stand from the bed and again give you that deep bow. Doctor, thank you for coming to help. Were you sincere when you said that you would help me?
Oh yes, extremely sincere. It's not often that we have someone as special as you on our ship, and quite honestly, it seems as though you may feel alone in any condition that you may be. So any way that I can make you comfortable, any way that we can help you in any way, I think that's extremely important. Excuse me for one moment. You all can be done with this if you want to. Just take a couple of those boxes and just leave me with the Lady Theron here for a moment.
Your staff looks at you like for just the briefest of moments, like, giving you that look of like, well, this is the moment that he's lost his damn mind. Like, this is it. I was here when. And you see like the looks exchanged of like, people like, yeah, I'm collecting tonight and that kind of stuff. But, it is obvious that your staff is just as used to your antics as the rest of the players. So, they shuffle off and leave you to your inevitable death because, this is going to happen anyway.
I want to apologize for the stares that my crew have been giving you.
That is very kind, but unnecessary. I know exactly who and what I am, so I accept that the stares and the looks and the suspicion, the distrust. the hatred. I understand that all of that is a part of who and what I am, and it is futile to fight it or be upset. So I don't let those who bear the ill will have that to use as a weapon against me.
What I will tell you is that while you are on this ship, you are as unique and yet common as any one of those flowers over there. I will not have anybody disrespect a guest such as yourself, especially in my med bay, in my presence. So all that hatred, all that distrust, that's something that should make friends of yours uncomfortable. And I hope that you know, through any way that I can help you, we could become friends. But for now, I'd like to know, how can I help you? You're here. You're taking me up on my offer. What is it that you need? What is it you desire from me?
And you can see that, like, you know, again, she, like, when they were, you know, listening to your words, they, there was just kind of like that, very slight flush to their cheeks of, like, you know, that, hearing words of kindness and sincerity definitely seems, not something that they are used to. But like when you ask what they're there for, then it's sort of like they put the mask back on and just nod slowly with a very delicate gesture. They unhook a clasp at their shoulder, and you can see on their back it is very bruised and torn up. And they would say, if you could please tend to this, the Lord Chadon likes it best when I am pretty. So,
I'm going to walk up to them and take a closer look, delicately, respectfully, pulling their clothes back a bit. Is it from any kind of how do I put this delicately?
Mhm.
Battle or recreational activities?
It seems like recreational activities. No struggle marks or anything, so, you know, consensual. Just very obvious that somebody got a bit overzealous because they were probably on too many drugs.
Oops. You know, Lady Theron, I think that I would be remiss to say if this wasn't partly my fault, so I owe you a duty. And I immediately, you know, open up a drawer and pull out some supplies and, you know, and start doing some work to really fix them up.
Mhm.
Now we're gonna make sure that you continue to be as perfect as you were when you walked into this ship.
I mean, I was designed to be that way. So thank you for all of it. It is strange to be regarded in this way, but
a lot of people make their decisions on who we are based on what they see on the outside and how we act words that we say, and they make up their mind very quickly in a very short period of time. A lot of people here on my ship have made up their mind about me. A lot of people in my life have made up their mind about who they think that I am, and it sucks to be regarded as strange and unusual.
It sounds like it is their loss then, if they don't truly see you for who and what you are. And they would very carefully, again with consent, reach out those like overly long, elegant fingers to lightly touch the side of the doctor's face, and give him the very barest of a little kiss on the cheek.
Immediately, the doctor goes from pale, doesn't see the sun much, to bright red, as if he's facing the sun of Arrakis head on at high noon.
Oh man. And they would like look up, like, I'm sorry, have I done something wrong?
No, you have done everything right. I'm honored, and I'm humbled. But there is one thing that I do want to make sure. I want to make sure that you are safe. But I also want to make sure that I'm safe too. And our big worm in the other room might not be so excited.
My lord is grows bored easily, but is also easily distracted. So, as long as I am not gone too long, and I return in the condition that he desires, then I imagine the choices I choose to make, well, those are not really his business, are they?
No, they're not. And we do have doctor-patient privilege now, don't we?
They look very, like, confused there for a minute, like, wait, what? But it is that kind of, like, almost wholesome, like, confusion of, like, wait.
It's like a innocent from, like a surprise to innocence that came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
So the doctor's going to continue kind of stitching her up. They stitching them up.
Yeah.
And then he's going to take a flower, something that's probably used to process some kind of opioid or something. Pluck it, and then pin it on their clothes, and then return the kiss.
I think we should fade out from there with the doctor doing his gentle ministrations.
That is quite a way to put it.
I mean, it was right there. And let's go to that interrogation. So you guys have 3 individuals of each a different flavor of, drudge. Basically, all of them terrified that they are here. Why don't you describe for me what does the interrogation room look like? How have you set these poor people up? What all are you? What is your guys' countenance and demeanor, etc., etc.
They are probably all set up. There are going to be guards in the front and on the insides of the doors and on the outsides of the doors. They are probably currently bound to 3 separate chairs and currently clothed. That may change during the course of the interrogation. Right now, it is Raul's demeanor as Raul's demeanor. There is no good cop, bad cop to be played off of this particular situation. It's more like logical cop, and the longer this takes, the more likely someone is probably going to lose their life cop. So it's, it's please resort to logic and get yourself out of this before I lose my temper, even though Raul probably doesn't actually lose his temper that often. It's very much designed to make it appear that Raul's temper is doing this, and he will speak to the doctor, because Raul actually has a very high communication and has a focus in coded messages. So he probably spends a lot of time, playing up how more aggravated he's kind of getting, and depending on when the, his mentat counterpart will include the person he believes is out of the running, that usually consists of Raul very brazenly and very angrily grabbing the chair they're in and dragging them out of the room like they're going to die, so that the other people probably get more heightened at that point in time. So it's looking like when he loses his temper, something bad is going to happen to this person that's probably nothing. And he'll then take them next door, let them know they're fine, they've been cleared, and let them go type situation. But it definitely gives the idea of it's going to get worse and worse, because all that's happening is Raul's getting angrier and angrier. You have to appeal to the mentat's logic. There isn't a very emotional or good emotional outcome to this situation, because you can't emotionally apply on either one of our heartstrings.
Okay, so I guess right off the bat, per your passive scrutiny information thingies, you would know, again, very quick. One is, oh god, what do you call the lowest level of cooks, just a line cook or something? Is that the term? I've never
line
worked
cook
in a kitchen. Okay, cool.
Yeah, a line cook or
worked
more,
in a
depending on how nice the restaurant is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming with a noble house that, you got it, you got your staff. You have your line cook, you have, what did I say? So yeah, your line cook who, basically ground the beans and prepared the coffee. You have, your one of your kitchen drudges that because now I'm thinking of Downton Abbey, that basically was the person to when the coffee was ready while the line cook was preparing other things, took the coffee from the pot and poured it out for the third person, who is the server, who brought it all over there to the mess. The line cook is an older gentleman, say, probably, mid-40s-ish age, balding, very much just is terrified and literally has that look of a person who I just want to go back to do my job. I wasn't supposed to be here, kind of thing. The drudge is a younger woman who, kind of looks like she was just some native Arakeen who used to be happy that, she got to see space for this thing, and now seems way less happy that she took this job. And the waiter person is, I'd say probably in his 30s, probably Also just like had a decent list of references from, various other places for, being able to quickly get stuff out to people without making mistakes. He just kind of has that look of like, I've got, this, like, none of the other houses put me in this situation kind of thing. So yeah, I guess, what are you guys doing at the start? Like, are there specific questions you have, or are you jumping to torture? Like, I don't know.
Before we start even asking questions, I assume there's a slight production of getting out implements and just doing the like just very calmly. And during that process, I would actually like to use my scrutiny and see which one of them seems to be the most calm in that scenario.
I'm standing in the corner. I'm standing in the corner watching at the moment.
Like, which one of them seems to be the most calm? Because that is a telltale sign if they actually have any sort of espionage training.
Okay. Let me see. Okay. Okay. So basically the older gentleman, like he is physically sweating, and like the sweating seems to get worse, like, as the pointier and more, peculiar looking objects come out. Because I imagine, like, also being somebody who enjoys head games and knows his way around the block, like, there are some objects in there that aren't actually torture devices, but they just look terrifying. Like, something that's vaguely corkscrew shaped, and, like, you're just like, yeah, that looks, like, unpleasant if it went in my body somewhere. So he is very much, like, physically sweating. The girl looks like she is holding her breath, but it seems like with the passive scrutiny that maybe she knows that's what she should do. And you get a very similar sort of thing from the guy, the waiter guy, who also, along those lines, like looks nervous, like his eyes are bouncing everywhere and everything like that. But, like, it mostly kind of seems like it's a little more performative when you're not looking.
Okay. Raul will simply start by taking a very simple looking pair of safety scissors and literally cut up the sleeve of the first gentleman, like the older gentleman in his 40s, just cut the arms off his, cut the cloth up his sleeve so that his basically his from his shoulder down is just exposed. I'm not really saying he'll just do it. After that, he'll walk over to the next person and do it to them, and then walk over to the third person and do it to them. And basically, in that time, he'll look at them physically, like, what their response and reaction to that is. Do they start screaming about how they didn't do anything, or they start trying to admit anything, or do they just simply sit there and, go through the process and the act? He's looking for people that have clearly been trained in any sort of thing like this, first and foremost.
Can you give me...
Would you like me to roll something?
Yes, please.
Sure.
Let's see. Is it... I will allow a test for communicate, discipline, or understand, whatever you have a relevant focus for.
I mean, I have coded messages and keeping cool and communicate or discipline. So none of those super apply. But I'd probably go with discipline
Yeah, I think discipline is the smart one. Then
I'd probably go discipline, duty, because this is definitely not something duty or power, one or the other, because he's doing this out of obligation to the house, but not out of any sort of personal joy. He's not like, yay, this is a thing I get to do.
I think power is more relevant because you are specifically using fear and your control of the situation to create
not a problem.
Reactions. So yeah, let's roll.
Yeah, and I'll go ahead and spend 1 momentum for an extra die. What is my difficulty, by the way?
This is like dose.
All right.
Nice. Well done. Okay, cool. So, basically, you know, again, like when you do it to the first guy, he's like, hey, come on now, like, I've been, you know, I know I just got here, but like, I've been working this line, I just want to do my job, that's all I'm here for, like, I don't even know what all was going on, nothing was happening on my shift, like, I run a clean ship, I mean, I don't actually run anything, I was just, but, you know, like, Sal can vouch for me, Sal is the best, he knows what I can do, his cousins, you know, like, he's just bargaining and, like, doing all of that, you know?
So,
Sal
out
and
of
Vito
curiosity,
down in the kitchen.
Yeah, out of curiosity, what planet in the Imperium is New York in?
Giddy Prime. It's Giddy Prime.
No.
No. This is very
No, that makes perfect sense, actually. That makes perfect sense.
I mean, I was gonna say either that or like this is the Carthag accent.
Yeah, Giddy Prime strikes me more as New Chicago than more than New York.
Yeah.
That's great.
So, now, Zev, did you want to use your truth stuff in conjunction with this?
Yeah, I had been planning on watching to see how they reacted and then trying to figure out based on what they were doing, but you said the one person is just talking.
Yeah, the first guy when Raul does that, like is literally just like trying to bargain and just like, no, this isn't my fault, blah 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 blah. The girl when he does it, she just starts to cry and is just like, you know, please, I don't know what I did. I was just here and I and she's like becoming a mess. So, but again, like there, with how you rolled, Raul, you can kind of see there is a calculation to how much of a mess she's being, because she knows very much that she is young and small, and the young small people, when they have the big eyes that well up with tears and things, that makes other people have feelings.
Wrong crowd for her to be in.
Exactly. The last person, the waiter, is very much just like, like he seems like nervous and terrified, but isn't saying anything, and you can tell from that role that it's with that resignation of like, I know that I know where I am and what this is, and what I say here doesn't matter.
It's unfortunate he feels that way because it does. I would like to use my verified talent to. All right. Before I choose this, Raul, which one do you think is the best option? My first instinct is to go and say I would like to verify whether or not the woman is really playing this up or telling us the truth, because that would eliminate one person immediately if she is or is not.
So my verify is on the waiter, only because logistically the waiter is the most optimal choice to do the deed, because after it gets into the waiter's hand, he controls where it goes. There is an easy way, if it was in the kitchen worker's hand, that she could not have controlled exactly where it was supposed to end up. So Raul's situation is, if we can eliminate the waiter as the culprit or as the possible or as not the culprit, it sheds a light on how did the coffee get where it was supposed to go? How did this person manipulate the rest of the transaction from occurring? So the waiter seems to be the most optimal person to have done it, but that doesn't necessarily mean they did do it, if that makes sense. So eliminating the waiter first tells us how big the conspiracy might be.
Okay. I was thinking myself that all that's true, but personally, I'm kind of thinking that they're all possibly guilty.
Sure.
And this was not a one-person thing. There's a reason I turned up 3 likely suspects.
I don't disagree with you.
That said,
like I said, yeah.
Just that said, I would like to verify. We'll go with Raul's suggestion. I would like to use my verify to find out whether or not the waiter is telling the truth, or not even telling the truth, but just. It says here I don't need to be making a skill test as it. It can be my supposition as much as a specific document or a rumor.
Yeah. So basically, my question is, because it says at the start, like, you spend a point of momentum to ask if a piece of information you have is true or false. So which specific piece of information are you checking the validity of? The obvious one is whether or not it's is he lying when he says he didn't do it? But I want to double check with you if that's what you want to ask, or if you had another question. What's up?
I do have a suggestion, because it lets you verify. You could verify how many people are involved in the conspiracy.
That's about what I was about to say.
Yeah, like.
Okay.
So my verify is going to have to be a specific question, whether or not it's true or false.
Okay.
So, are they all involved?
No.
They're not. Okay. I'm just reading over my character sheet.
Yeah, of course. Take your time.
While he's reading, while he's examining the situation, Raul will go back to his list of implements, check out 3 syringes. It's really just fucking salt water. Like, it is nothing. It is literally nothing special. It is all psychological at this point. And he'll test all 3 syringes and be like, because it's what you do. Because even though we're in the great far future, there's technically no truth serums.
And
but
as you pull out the needles, the line cook is just literally like, no, listen, like, my cousin Sheila, she can vouch for me. She married Jebediah's son, the 3rd cousin on his mother's side. I swear to I swear to everything. Like, listen, whatever you got, I'll help you. I'll tell you whatever you need to know. Like, you want to know what kind? And he's just going
Swearing on the Orange Catholic Bible will not help you in this situation.
Oh, but again, like, my mother raised me as a good OC boy.
So, good OC boy, why did you do it?
I didn't do nothing but my job, sir. Like, again, you gotta believe me. This is just, I don't know.
And what
nothing
did your
about
job
nothing.
entail?
I was there.
He's gonna basically ask him to walk him through his whole day, He's going to ask him, walk him through his whole day, and he's going to focus down into the coffee situation, and he's going to let, our mentat examine that particular statement about it in that particular situation.
Yeah, so basically his day is incredibly boring and sad. He wakes up at an absurd hour in the morning in order to, get
We can fast
ready.
forward just to the coffee part.
Yeah.
We can really do that.
Skip a bit, brother. Skip a bit.
Yeah, exactly.
We
Again,
actually
if
don't let him
out
skip
napping,
in scene.
Yeah.
We don't skip in scene. We let him go through the whole day. We as the players just want to know about the coffee bit. So
No. Yeah. So it's very, at least what he is telling you is that he poured the beans, he ground the beans, he set it to brew, and that was his extent of, handling the job. Because then he had to start preparing the other stuff for the other stations, and yeah.
Okay. So at this point in time, I'm gonna see if he's lying and fact checking against what I can do. What difficulty is this based upon the amount of duress and everything else that is going on with this gentleman, with this particular target?
With this particular target, I will say difficulty 0.
All right, cool. What is my role there? Because I might as well get some free momentum.
Let's see. I guess discipline again.
Sure. Power again, not a problem. Nope, I will fail, but I will not generate any complications because it was a 0 target test. So,
Yes.
huzzah. Not a 20.
Hooray! Yeah.
Didn't complicate that.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, again, as far as you know, he seems very sincere, like he's telling the truth.
Yeah.
As far as your scrutiny and being up in his face, like all of that sweat seems genuine.
Sure. I will at that point in time become very upset and annoyed and grab the back of his chair and drag him out of the room. So that he can be basically debriefed and because I assume he's going to panic at this because this seems way worse than what was going to happen before.
Oh yeah. Like he's literally screaming in terror and making his final
he's saying his orange Catholic
last
prayers at this
wishes.
point in time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I have
I
a
should have called my mother.
As soon as they leave the room and the door closes, I walk up to the remaining 2 and I sit down in a chair looking at both of them. Would the 2 of you like to follow? Or would one of you like to tell me what happened? This will be your last chance.
The girl again just starts crying and it's just like, I don't know, I poured it in the cups and I used the silver cups. Maybe I should have used the red ones. I don't know. That they told me that I really knew.
While she's rambling, what is the other guy doing?
The other guy is sort of looks down and seems sort of uncomfortable and he seems very much like he is stuck. But he's trying not to make that visibly seen or felt. He's just I did my job. And that's basically what he says.
They can hear the whoosh as the airlock doors next to the interrogation room open. Clearly, we didn't actually vent anybody, but we, of course, go through the process of making it sound like we just vented him.
At that, the girl just, screams and is like, ah! And the guy, visibly pales, 2 shades.
Mm-hmm. He comes in,
said,
Raul will come back in, turn to the guard, and go, Raul will turn to the guard and be like,
with-
make sure to retrieve the chair. And walk back into the room.
With Zev saying that, on that, the waiter like looks and is like, okay, it was me. I don't even know who she is. I just they have my sister. And I don't really know what they were looking to do. I just knew that I had to do this, and then I would get her back.
And did you?
I don't know. I'm here, so I hope I will. I hope that this won't. She's very
Say
young,
that
and
for someone who cares.
Of course.
Who hired you?
The lady. I was hired by an intermediary who approached me from the Lady Catherine of House Evanesque.
At that point, I get up and I start to walk out the door, and I tell, Raul was there for pretty much all the stuff that mattered there anyway, so he's in your care now.
Weird question, Jace.
Yeah.
Can you use that power to verify more than one fact per scene, or just the one time per scene?
No, I guess I can do it more than once, so yeah, let's make sure to do that. I gotta pay more attention to that. I want to verify that as well.
He is, yeah,
Spend
verify
that
that he's
momentum.
alone in it. Spend the momentum. We have the momentum to spend. Let's spend it.
Yeah. Yeah, so confirming you're spending momentum to verify the truth of this. Awesome.
Yes.
So as far as this guy is aware, he is the only one who was involved in this. Like, as far as he knows, he seems to be very much telling the truth that, he did this thing by himself.
Okay.
Cool. Raul will have him taken to wherever the prison cells are, because we'll be dealing with him later. And
Yes.
he will continue to make sure that she wasn't involved at this point in time.
Can I just ask the DM specifically, what made me think that
Yes.
she was involved? What did I see in the personnel files?
Basically, again, as far as you were looking at the chain of how the poison coffee got to where it is. Excuse me. And so, like, she was in the middle of the chain where she was the one who set it up to serve it in the cups that was then handed to the waiter.
Okay.
And all the three of them are also recent hires. So, they passed all the vetting, or at least the base level vetting, because, whatever. But, obviously spies and stuff get through all the time. The thing that was suspicious about this in the interrogation is that, some of her reactions and performances seemed a bit practiced. But, yeah. Are you going to spend the momentum to verify her story?
Possibly. I have one more question before that, though.
Sure.
The question I have before that was, crap, I lost it. Hold on.
That's okay.
Raul, you got anything while I try to remember this?
Yes. Because he just fingered an Arakeen house and she's a new Arakeen hire, it's not out of the question that she is part of this conspiracy based upon proximity.
I remember my question now.
so-
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Go.
go ahead.
Did the waiter admit to actually drugging the drink?
Yes.
Okay, then it's less likely she's involved, as what would have been her part in it aside from simply bringing the coffee as she does every single day.
Yeah, you don't need a
And-
special
Right.
agent for that.
No.
No. But she does have the ability to scout out people inside of the kitchen staff now to generate more co-conspirators, which is what I'm checking for now. He is not checking anymore to see if she is involved in this particular conspiracy. He is checking to see if she is basically here as a plant to find more conspirators. He's going to change his questions to more along those lines, and things like that.
All right. So I have, since it's almost 9, I would like to speed this along a little bit so we can cut to a break.
Sure. Not a problem.
So I will say if you can roll me a discipline test again, because you're scrutinizing as she's, you know, giving you answers to her questions.
I will spend the momentum as well for 3 dice on it.
Yeah. And then, Zev, if you also want to spend a momentum for your truth-telling thing, I will allow that to happen so we can get to what y'all find out on what is true or not true.
Nope, I'm going to double complicate that. So, yep, I'm going to screw that all up, apparently.
Ooh,
Awesome.
That's exciting. Oh,
That is.
Wow. All right. Oh, man. Heck. Double complication. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Wow.
So either she's completely innocent and let her go, or she's totally involved in this conspiracy and clearly she's a heavy conspirator. We have one of two crazy options there. I will accept either.
So basically,
Actually, no.
happens
I will not lie. I will lie. I will use the determination I get, and I will re-roll that roll. Because I get my 1 determination for stuff. That seems like the best place to spend it. I will re-roll the roll.
All right. How do we? And then something else happens when you spend determination, but I forget what it is. Yeah. Ugh.
Let's see if it gets even worse.
Oh man.
No, that is much better.
Alright, let's see. What happens when you do? Alright. Cool. That is way better. Alright,
Yeah.
so is there... Because I can't find in here, really fast at least, where it says what happens... Oh, there it is. Okay. So you re-rolled.
Yep.
Do you have what statement were you spending?
For my thing?
Yeah, because it says, you know, blah blah blah. May never have more than 3 determination at once.
I will use my duty statement. What must be done must be done.
Awesome. Cool.
It is a very appropriate statement for this situation.
Oh, definitely.
Awesome. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. So I would definitely say it goes along with the thing. Now, does it end up doing anything? Because it looks like it only you only suffer a complication if I offer the determination to you, or am I wrong?
That is correct. It would only be if you offered it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, so basically, you know, initially it seems very much like she is like that wholesome, innocent, sweet girl that she is presenting herself as. You know, you find that part of that part of those tears are getting to you, in that making you feel like that way of like when you were young and maybe you had somebody close to you that you protected in that way, and you feel that, you know, resolve like softening your heart a little bit as, you know, you have that little bit of empathy. But then you remembered your drive, and you
We
saw
stamp
and
that
pushed-
out.
Exactly. You
We
pushed
stamp out that
through and-
empathy.
and you realized that this person is definitely manipulating those emotions and those beats, and they are what you figure out is that, you know, they are it doesn't seem to you, at least, like they were a part of the conspiracy, but it also doesn't seem like they were loyal to the house.
Okay. Then I will basically have them tagged and returned and get Lady Cassandra's opinion on using her as a false information source. Now that I
Cool.
figured out that she's a spy, we can use disinformation from her.
Yeah. All right. Excellent. You love
Unless the
to hear
Mentat
this
disagrees with me on that one.
Nope, you're good.
Yep. All right.
All right. So with that, I guess let's go to our break. You know, remember, everyone in chat, if you have been watching, please nominate our super awesome role players for AP. The person who gets the most nominations from the chat will get the AP awarded to them at the end of the night. The advancement points are what lets them buy new talents and assets and other cool stuff. So it's super, super great. Yeah, I guess we'll see you in a little bit. Bye.
Arrakis. Dune. A planet that is both a volatile desert wasteland and the most precious jewel in the universe. For it is only on Arrakis where the spice melange can be found. The spice has shaped humanity for a millennia, and it is the foundation that makes interstellar travel possible. Fortunes rise and fall as quickly as the sands shift on Arrakis. It is a place where a smile and a quiet word can cut as easily as a crysknife, and nothing is what it seems. Welcome to Dune.
Say words. Those bite words.
All right. I think we're back. We're back, right? Welcome back, audience, to Dune: Blades of the Hidden. This is our actual play of the Dune: Agents of the Imperium book by Modifius Entertainment. It is super awesome. It's on sale now. Definitely check it out. Really, really great. And if you haven't had a chance to, please check out our poll for the players. Basically, whoever wins the poll gets rewarded an extra AP at the end of the session, which is really great. Also, we have really awesome donation goals and retweet goals. The donation goals in particular are really awesome about giving our players more items. There's a one-shot for running a game in Sands of Arrakis in there. Lots of neat, awesome stuff. Check it out. Otherwise, I think we should get back to the game. When we last left off, there were some infiltrators that were discovered. So there were infiltrators discovered. Our good doctor had a dangerous liaison, Cassandra had a lot of more things to process than perhaps she wanted to. But it'll be exciting and great. And with that in mind, we take you to the negotiations themselves. I imagine it's in a Great Hall-esque area of the ship, where the table has been set. My question for Cassandra here is, how are you arranging this table? Like, first of all, what kind of table is it? Are we talking a rectangle? Are we talking a round table?
Oh, it's a circular table.
Okay, cool.
Huh.
Now, as far as seating arrangements go, that's very, very prudent. As far as setting that expectation of equality and all that. Also, we have a hail hydrate thing, so if you got water, drink it. Thank you, because
I have
this
tea.
is Dune, and water is valuable. How do the seating arrangements go? Like, are you having the two heads on opposite ends? Are you allowing their guards to sit at the table, or are they standing behind them? Is Chidon here, or have you put him somewhere else?
So, I suppose that depends on how adamant Chidon would be to be present. If he could be easily distracted, then let him be distracted.
I would like you to give me a roll, like a communicate roll.
Sure.
What are you saying to him to, because I assume you don't want him in the room. So what are you saying to him to, not have him, like, be there? Like, what is your, reasoning or distraction, or, because that will determine what difficulty I give you.
And I will say this, Lady
Uh-huh.
Lucinor, that after the doctor's interaction with the big worm, my worm brother,
Worm
he
bros.
is easily distracted. Worm bros. Hashtag worm bros. He is easily distracted, and I would have like given you all the information that you might need on
Yeah.
how easily distracted and what methods
Yes.
he might need. Just putting that out there for you.
Also,
Like a
I will
good
let
doctor.
Allie reminders. I'll also let Allie know that you have that free obtain information before you meet with him, because you're going into the scene with him to find out what is the best distraction available right now.
Indeed.
Mm.
I'll use that actually.
Okay.
Because it's passively scrutinizing the individual. So yeah.
Yeah. Definitely seems like he's jonesing for what was in that suitcase. And just sort of like little ticks here and there. It's like, yeah, whatever. And he so but there is that loose obligation of, I know it would be remiss if I wasn't there. So if you have the feeling that if you can find a way to make it okay that he's not there, so he has some sort of excuse to do what he wants to do, then you got it.
All right. Well, I will certainly impress upon him that it will likely be a dry affair. I'm certain that someone of his interests would perhaps find more worth in availing themselves of the amenities on offer here, rather than boring themselves, especially when the matter is largely well in hand. I'm there to handle smoothing the negotiations and make sure that the two houses are not at each other's throats. Largely, I mean, his presence is largely just there as an observation. So we'll have plenty of people recording the proceedings.
Give me that difficulty communicate test at 2.
All right. Communicate.
Yeah.
And let's see here.
I assume you have diplomacy, or you had something on your sheet.
I do have diplomacy.
Yeah.
So I'll use that.
Awesome.
Let's see here.
Ooh!
Well,
Look at that! All right, and way to build some more momentum.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
which could come in handy.
Yeah. So basically, like, there's a minor protest of like, well, if it's gonna be real boring, like, you want to have the Chadan there, like, I'll just make it way more exciting, like, like, again, you just start like having some blood flowing, and like that gets everything far more exciting, especially when you just start killing the annoying people. So, but the more that, you talk to him and you use that like soft voice, that like, maybe lean into it with a little bit of the capital V voice. And he's just like, yeah, you're right. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I should just go somewhere else. 'Cause yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I can make my own fun somewhere else. That's a good idea. Thank you, Lady Lucinor. But you'll make it square with
course.
my dad, right? Okay. Cause like
If
this
your
is
dad
a
has
big
any,
job.
if your father has any concerns, then yes.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, he has a lot of concerns because he's running this whole planet and stuff. But you know, like I don't want one of those concerns to be me.
And in the meantime, I'm sure our good doctor can set you up with something suitable to keep you entertained.
Oh yeah, I love your doctor, man. We should talk afterwards because I would like to have him work for me. And I think I could present a very compelling offer.
We will set aside time, I'm sure.
Yes, excellent, excellent. You good luck with your meeting, all right? I'm gonna, deuces. Yeah, and he would head out.
He kind of reminds me of the type of person that would wear his visor like upside down, you know, pop collar.
Oh yeah, he definitely has the pop collar. Like, you wonder how the pop collar can work in space, but somehow he makes it work. Yeah, so we have our table set. We have our parties. Are they on opposite ends, or did you seat them next to each other?
I would place them on opposite sides of the
Okay.
table, facing each other, with places at kind of separating in between. On one end, myself, and then I assume on the other end would be Dr. Kynes.
Yes.
Kind
Awesome.
of providing a buffer between the two.
Raul, Zev, Doc, are you guys also present for the talks, or are you elsewhere?
I am definitely there.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, same.
Those two being there makes complete sense. What message does Cassandra want to send? Because that is very much where you're putting people. Like if you're letting all their men-at-arms stand, then you definitely want me to stand with you as your man-at-arms to send that same symbol. If you're letting men-at-arms sit, you can do whatever. If you're not letting men-at-arms into the arena, then I definitely don't need to be there because that sends the very wrong signal. Or the very right signal if you want to say that you're the most murder hobo-y. Okay.
We'll have them standing.
Okay.
Okay.
The message being that. Oh, sorry.
No,
I was saying the message being
please.
that these are peace talks, but should things get hairy.
Now, point of order, my lady, is should we all be standing as a way to give a kind of general presence of mediation, or should we be sitting at the table as if we, in and of ourselves, are also involved in these talks?
It's actually an excellent question. I
would recommend that Zeb sits. I would recommend that our mentat sits. The doctor is neither here nor there. But you don't want them to be able to say that he is not sitting at the table so that his voice would not be heard as a logical counterpoint.
And since I might have to interject, I would prefer to be seated as well.
Now, I could, being the important doctor of this ship, make sure that everybody's well hydrated. So I could just kind of browse around, kind of walk around, maybe even like lend an ear on some quiet conversations that might be going on between individuals while refilling waters, etc.
And I would also say, real fast, Allie, that the Lady Theron would have been with Chadon, and would have lingered, and just asked if they could attend the discussion, just because their reasoning is that if tensions get high, they can dissolve the situation with art instead of violence.
Great idea. That's a great
I would
idea.
acquiesce, but I would then inform Raul that she would be present,
Yeah.
so that we could
They.
account for that. They, forgive me.
Yeah.
That they would
Okay.
be present so that we could account for that.
I will make sure to add my personal men-at-arms to the door proceedings then.
Yeah. So basically, like, Chidon would have left, Theron would have stayed.
I will
And-
use my
Mhm.
my personal passive scrutiny for the scene. Does
Okay.
the lady have a shield?
I will say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is important to how I give orders for my men to handle the situation.
Like, it seems concealed within their outfit. But I'll say that, you know, for the purposes of not violating the convention with Alaska or whatever, that yes, you can. It is safe to assume that as they have money or were outfitted from money, that they probably have a shield.
Just triple checking and confirming the fact that it's a murder
Yep.
weapon.
And then I
Oh my
would
God.
I would also take out a small little container and kind of do a little twist here, little turn there, little grind there,
Mhm.
and then discreetly take a couple of sniffs for so that I can pay extra attention and just be, you know, really on edge here.
Theron basically wanders to stand behind Dr. Kynes, but then just basically seems to have that very demure position of like, I am. Oh wow! Thank you for all the subs, Staffin. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, and has that very demure presentation behind them, and you know, just seems to kind of be content to observe and blend in with the background. Obviously, not being presumptuous to take a seat of any kind. Both of the guards for the lords, the lord and lady, look, you know, slightly more tensed as they walk past. You know, again, you see the guy who was Dimitri's guard just kind of like has his hand like a bit closer towards his sword, while the Bene Gesserit behind Dahlia just sort of does that very, you know, relaxed kind of like shifting her body weight just slightly to be ready to pounce if she needs to. And yeah, with that, let us bring it to Dr. Kynes to start the thing.
Hello. Your houses have come to this negotiation hoping to avoid Conley. This is an extremely wise course of action, as a blood feud is expensive and unproductive. However, in my experience, if you tell someone that a course of action is foolish and self-destructive, the outcome is just as likely as before. With that in mind, I will cover the basic rules of Conley as laid out under the Great Convention. Should two houses pursue Conley, poisons, assassins, and traps are all fully sanctioned. No quarter asked, no mercy given. Till your bloodline runs dry, anyone connected to your house is a legitimate target. However, the use of atomics or biological threats will result in immediate banishment of the offending house, stripping the family of leading the house and all those working for it of their titles, their lands, and every scrap of their wealth. Have I made myself clear? Wonderful. If anyone needs me, I will be in my room doing actual work. Please don't need me. And with that, he pushes his chair away and walks briskly out of the room.
Theron sort of does that, like, bow as he exits.
Well then,
Well,
a thank you to the good Dr. Kynes for giving us the primer on what might be expected should things go poorly here. With that in mind, shall we begin?
Both of the Dahlia and Dimitri sort of, shoot each other glances before, with effort, at least, they look to Cassandra and give that nod of, like, we are deferring to you to start this.
Very well. And she'll kind of get the ball rolling. House Adder and House Visperis, you are meeting here today in order to reach an accord in the hopes of avoiding bloodshed and further undue complications, given in our duties here on Arrakis. It is my hope that I can help facilitate finding such a common ground and make an agreement between your two houses to avoid the unfortunate unpleasantness of Conley. With that being said, and she'll look between them. I know that bad blood exists between your two houses. If either of you would like to open the floor with what you believe would be fair, as a means of a fair exchange, as a means of putting all of this behind you, please.
So Dahlia takes a minute to look down and then looks back at Dimitri square in the eye and says, "You executed someone who I was allied with. I want the life of someone you are allied with. In the same way that you cost my house position and fortune, so too should you have to suffer loss of position and fortune." And Dimitri looks like, again, like he has that smile on his face, but it is very clearly strained as he wants to do an outburst, but is very self-controlled. So instead, he's just gritting his teeth as he waits to defer to what Cassandra's saying.
Well, that is certainly a tall order, but
it is an order
one
she
life
has no right to give.
Indeed, but nor are any of us here to make demands. One must open the negotiations somehow.
So, what we want is to again make this fief into something truly great. Each of us has a corner of this market, and together we can be far more profitable. I think, given the rumors that are circling around the Lady Dahlia with her associations, that it would be beneficial for her house to be taken under the wing of mine, given that we are the ones who best know the mind and will of our liege. And you can see from the other side of the table that it seems like a blood vessel pops in Dahlia's head.
Let's see. And in regard to this taking under the wing, what form would you propose that take? For clarity's sake.
I am open to negotiation on that count. Obviously, I am looking for a partner, and I think that as a partner, I would be able to. It would be of a greater benefit than if I was to receive this house as a subject.
I see. I mean, she can kind of infer from there where he's angling. And of course, her mind immediately goes back to everything her mother said.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Yes, well. Chill. For as far as let's see here. I'm gonna go ahead and use one of the momentum for hyper awareness.
Okay. What does that do again?
When I spend momentum to obtain information about the current situation, a current location, or a person that I can currently observe, I may ask 2 questions for the first point of momentum spent. Further, the limits of what others would be able to notice do not apply to me for any questions.
Fantastic. There we go. Okay.
I'm actually specifically focusing on Dahlia for this.
Yes.
First off,
yes.
What is her reaction to his proposal? Like, what is she feeling when he makes that proposal?
She is a mixture of, like, disgusted, but there's, like, that calculative evaluation of, like, you know, because it's that complex thing of, like, okay, you know, because you know that, again, she is very focused on duty and her house and all of that. So this is definitely that wrestling with a drive here, where, you know, like this is somebody that she cared about that he killed, but also this could be super good for her house.
Yeah.
So that's what she's feeling.
All right. Trying to think of what to ask for the second question. As far as that goes, then, let's see. Does it... So can I get a sense then of whether she actually seems like she'd be leaning in that direction?
It seems like she could be coaxed there. But right now it's just kind of like she's processing those feelings of like wrestling her personal desires for, you know, again, justice, revenge, etc., with that like practical, like, I do have responsibilities for my house aspect, you know? So she's like running that mental math of figuring out the calculations on what's the best option and best move to play. But it is definitely like you get that read that like you could manipulate this situation given how she is wrestling with that drive.
Okay. All right. Given then the unpleasantness between your two houses, you are comfortable jumping to such a proposal. She'd say this to Dimitri.
I'm a man of practicality, and I understand on Gidi Prime, it is strength that ruled the day. And while the various demonstrations by the Lady Adar have been more than enough to damage my operation and the stability that I have here, I can admit when I have respect for my opponents. And that is a respect that is something to be admired. And perhaps in time it can be something that is grown to a mutual advantage versus one born of simply shared desire for profits.
Very well. You should look at Dahlia again. Lady Adar, you have expressed a desire for recompense for the death of a valued ally. In what in what way what sort of life would you find adequate for such a tall order? Though I do understand the desire that or the belief that one life given to avert the lives of many lost is often a preferable one.
So without hesitating, she would point at the Swordmaster by his side, and simply say, Rand, that was his name. Him. He relies upon him for more than just the strength of his steel. I can see it, and you can see it too. So if he is one that Dimitri holds in close confidence, and if you, and she looks at Dimitri, if you are sincere in your desire to be my partner, then you will have him fall on that steel, because then we will have the shared grief to bond over.
At that, the doctor is going to pour some water into Cassandra's glass. Remind everybody, it's a very futuristic-looking glass, very Dune-like glass, and kind of look at Cassandra with kind of a panicked look, without trying not to give any indication to anybody else that what was just said was alarming.
And she'll just kind of give him a look in return, the kind of the I understand sort of look. Well,
Quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any traits currently on this scene?
Oh gosh. I'm gonna say probably tense.
Sure.
Let's see. I don't know. What are some other good traits?
One trait that does not seem to be in the scene, based upon how our Bene Jesuit side of things is going, is civility. She has been anything but civil.
Yes. Yes.
So I will use a momentum and tap my heel twice and snap my guards to attention, adding the civility trait to the scene.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That's awesome. Okay.
Hell yeah.
So
yeah, that is awesome.
So I will say that, like, Dahlia looks like she's gonna snap something else, and then when that happens, it's just sort of, you know, her face gets like that little bit of crunch, and she recomposes herself. But before we react to that, Doctor, you get a message through, you know, your little microbead or whatever from Shani, and she is doing her best to you know, be not panicked and holding it together. So, you know, in your ear you just hear, Doctor, you're going to need to come to the room immediately, as soon as possible, please, very fast. But don't make it look fast. Make it look like everything is fine, just fine. And please bring Raul. But again, everything is fine on the way here. So, you know, yes, just post haste, please.
Understood. And I'm gonna walk up to you, Raul, and kind of whisper in your ear. You know, I obviously stand next to you and whisper, there's something I need your help with in the other room. Do your men have this?
They do. I will be to Samuel to meet me at the door and exchange places with him. But I very smoothly do that, and especially after imposing the new trait onto the scene.
And I'm gonna make it look like
Go ahead.
I'm gonna make it look like I'm leaving as if things are about to go down in front of the Sook Doctor. As everyone knows, kind of the conditioning that Sook Doctors go through, perhaps the Sook Doctor not being in the room will allow for things to get a little hairy, which in and of itself is a kind of message. And as I'm leaving, I'm gonna, you know, delicately put my arm on or my hand on Theron's shoulder, give her a look, and then walk out.
They look. Okay, go ahead.
It's fine.
So now, has Raul left ahead of the doctor?
He's gonna meet Samuel at the door and say some things to him.
Okay. Yeah. So I feel like Theron looks a little, like tilts their head slightly, but keeps the impassive face. But at least for the doctor, since he spent some time around them, they look a little concerned. And kind of hesitate as if they want to move to follow but aren't sure. So for right now, they're staying where they are.
Yeah, let me be clear, because this happens in a glance, right? So it's just a micro moment.
Yeah.
If you feel that you're in danger, meet me at the med bay. If you feel that you're going to be useful, feel free to stay.
Okay. So they would follow then. All right. So do we want to so basically you, and this isn't the med bay. This is the room.
Yeah.
I assume.
Because you.
Yeah, I assume they're going to follow. As I'm leaving, they're following me. So we're all a big happy family right now.
Yes. And also, I will say that Theron following is going to be the story event rewarded through our sub goals. So yay! This is exciting. Thank you guys. So you guys open the doors to the room, and what you see is Chani very panicked as she has both of her hands inside Chadon, trying to stop the bleeding, but it kind of seems like it is way too late for that. But she's just in this state of shock and horror and oh god, he has died, but maybe I can do something so he's not dead, like that sort of mode of and she looks up, sees Raul, and she sees she sees Raul, and there's that relief. She sees the doctor, and then she sees Theron, who simply looks at the dead body of Chadon and says, "Oh dear." And that is where we're going to end tonight.
Yeah. Good ending.
I know I'm not there. Not there, but where?
Mm-hmm.
The last time we saw Chadon was he and Theron arriving, and then he just wandered off, right? Okay, that's what I just was curious, making sure I didn't miss something.
Nope.
Okay.
And
okay then.
Let's see. Oh gosh, and we have more subs. So I'm gonna say everybody gets an AP on top of the ones you received tonight. This is so awesome. Thank you guys so much.
Aren't we in a pickle? Oh my gosh.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Again,
Oh yeah.
I mean, we've got a dead Harkonnen on the ship.
Yeah, it's fine. Just the.
I mean, I don't think we're in a pickle, but that's me.
The very simple. Oh dear. Yeah. So. Oh my gosh, you guys. This is so much fun. So let's start. With our outros. Paul. Talk about thoughts, where we can find you, all of that.
You can find me on Twitter at PaulMarchant6. You can find me on Weave the Tale. I do a lot here, as well as on Yield of the Phoenix Lancer podcast. that should be, I believe our first episode dropped the 13th, and we'll have another. Oh no, we pushed it back. Never mind. So I'll let you people know when that's getting released, and that's a super fun game with a lot of great people. That's about it. Outside of that, I'm neither hither nor thither.
Woot woot. All right. Jace.
I'm Jace Ridley. You can find me at Jace Ridley pretty much everywhere. What a way to end the evening. Yeah, I got nothing right now. I was not expecting that. I really was not. Okay.
Oh, man.
That threw me for it's throwing me for a loop.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome.
A little bit.
I feel so flattered. Allie, if we can, get some thoughts, where we can find you, etc.
Yeah. I'm Allie. I'm at Lexi Phoenix on Twitter. You can also find me on Twitch. I stream sometimes as Shay Darksong. And yeah, I hope we're not hosed.
That would be best.
Fine. Everything's fine.
Just
It's fine. It's fine.
Fine.
How are you?
Oh boy.
I'm fine.
Speaking of,
Fine.
Mark, thoughts, where we can find you, etc.
Yeah. How dead is he though? And can the Soot Doctor bring him back to life? Does the Soot Doctor want to bring him back to life? Those are the big questions that I'm going to be mulling over the next week or so. My name is Mark Hugh Anderson. I played Dr. Maharil. This is episode 2 already. It's amazing. This is the first time I'm playing this game, and so far I absolutely love it. I love all the players here. Jen, you're a fantastic GM. The entire cast and the entire crew of Weave the Tale and Penny for a Tale, thank you so much. All the viewers who are watching, I want to thank you for watching, for subbing, for being so active in chat. This is what keeps us going. Really involved in this is that people are liking it, and I really, really do appreciate it. If you want to throw me a follow, I'm at Marchosius with 5s instead of S's, or you can find Mondo Cane Publishing at Mondo Cane Pub on Twitter. Otherwise, I'll see you next week.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh gosh. So yeah, you guys. Wow, this was super incredible. I had so much fun. I'm so happy I got to sneak the reveal past you. Basically, every time you were like, "Oh yeah, we want to follow it there," and I'm like, "Yes, good." So that was super, super awesome. Thank you for that. I want to give a quick shout out again to our sponsors, Modifius Entertainment, Green Run and Publishing, Free League Publishing, and Imagining Games. We couldn't do all of this without them, and I couldn't have done any of this without my wonderful players. And also, audience, thank you so much for the participating, the subs, the retweets, etc. It's all super great. And yeah, if you like me, you can find me at SavageSparrow on the internet. SavageSparrow.com is my cool website. And I will be on this channel here tomorrow for Delta Green. So check that out. And also our sister channel, Penny for a Tale, on Sunday with our Pathfinder game. So it'll be a super great time. Talk to you later.
Buy her shirts. Go to SavageSparrow.com. Buy her shirts.
I've seen it.